We did it.
We did.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. So what would you like to talk about today?
I want to talk about retreat. That's so interesting for me. And I think can you explain what is a retreat? But first, I want to know what is your name and what are you doing, a little bit about you.
Sure. So my name is Mary Collins. I was a journalist for over 25 years and a hypnotherapist for over 12. So let me explain to you first of all, what is hypnotherapy? A lot of people are scared by the subject matter of hypnosis. In actual fact, 95% of everything you do is run by your subconscious. So when you walk to the store or you drive the car, once it's a learned behavior, your subconscious takes over and does everything for you. So that means that a lot of decisions that we make and a lot of things that we hold on to, including chronic pain and stress, is because of our subconscious trying to protect us, trying to keep us safe. So what I do at my retreats and what I do with my therapy is I help people to explore their subconscious, find out or release what is stopping them from being who they want to be, doing what they want to do, or even from holding on to chronic pain that's no longer necessary. And a retreat is where we go off somewhere exciting and different, and we experience the culture, we experience the food, we experience different techniques of hypnotherapy, of guided meditation. For example, I have a couple of retreats coming up. One is with a forager. Foraging is where you go out into the forest or the countryside and you find food. You find food, you find medicinal plants, you learn about what's safe to eat, what's safe to use for a tea or a tincture, or what's not actually. So that's one of my retreats. It's called a Foraging and Therapy Retreat. Another one of my retreats is a mermaid retreat, which is quite unique. It is where you will learn how to mermaid. It is experiencing breathing techniques. It's experiencing being able to dive up to 5 meters and being certified so that you learn how more you can go on to mermaid further and you can go on to dive even deeper and go to all the different dive centers. And so once again, it's what I like about it is I'm taking people out of their comfort zone and I'm putting them into an environment where they can speak to their subconscious, speak to their intuition, and grow.
Wow. Yeah, that's people talk about it a lot. That's not good when you are in your comfort zone, and that's big discussion about it. Some people say we want to have and to save comfort zone, and others say no, you have to go out. And what do you think? That's the best way to grow up. This way to go out from your comfort zone.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having a comfort zone, right? We all need some times where we can retreat, right? Where we can go and be safe and be cozy and kind of let go of the worries of the world. However, you're right. When it comes to people and comfort zones, people either go into fight or flight mode, and sometimes they go into shock mode. And that's where you have a reaction because of something from the past that's created fear, created discomfort, and the way to handle that is to go to the comfort zone, right? And the comfort zone could be something like coming home and opening a bottle of wine. And that's your way to get rid of stress. It can be going straight to the fridge when you get home and eating really bad food. It can be binge watching or binge anything. And the problem with comfort zones is that it can create addiction or addictive behaviors. So comfort zones are great if it's like a down day where you're just snuggling with a pet or, just not getting really dressed up. You're just, chilling out. There's nothing special happening because the body and the mind both need time to heal. They need time to relax and to rest. So it's okay to have it, but sometimes we do need to push ourselves a little further in order to grow, because even muscles, how do you get them to grow, Albina? You have to work out. You have to stretch them. You have to break them in order for them to grow. So yeah, absolutely. It's okay to push your comfort zone sometimes, to push people out of their comfort zone sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not in my comfort zone. I'm not in my native country, so I have new experiences in Switzerland, and that's not my comfort zone at all. So yeah, I totally agree with you because I'm a psychologist and I like to grow up in this good way. And I want to ask you about this retreat with diving. That's really something special. I never see before it. And first time when I saw it, I think, wow, that's so interesting and creative and so on. And do you have some specialists who help you and diving?
Absolutely. Actually, the lady that is joining me is Leekie Noops, and she is from Belgium. She has taught over 1,000 people how to dive, and she does have different forms of certification. This one is for mermaiding, so it's kind of exploring and getting into the water and diving up to 5 meters and getting that certification where you can go a little bit further with it. But yes, absolutely. For everything that I do, I make sure that I have experts to join me because in order for people to grow and to feel safe, they need to have those experts. And so I would say that I'm an expert in my therapy with my hypnotherapy, and I include that on my retreats where I'm there for people to do guided meditation, to talk to them. I have an intuitive healing journal that is published between myself and Becky Hemsley, who is a beautiful, wonderful poet from the UK, and she adds her beautiful poetry to the journaling, and I add some breathing therapy and some other therapies as well, so that people can talk about their experience while they're at the retreat and have time to talk about it and write about it afterwards as well, so they can continue to grow. So, but yes, the diving is a specialist. She is from Belgium and she is a mermaid, and that's her job. And it's a wonderful thing to see her. She, no matter shape or size, anyone, man or woman, they join. She gets your sizes in advance of the retreat, and she measures and she gets you your monofin and she gets you your mermaid costume. And for people who don't want to mermaid, they can just learn how to dive, how to do the deep breathing exercises and the holding their breath and going down deeper. And we will also have an underwater photographer who is a specialist, and a pirate ship, and some singing bowl therapy and some other therapies too. But I'm quite excited because both people who want to do the mermaiding for the thrill of doing something amazing and glamorous and powerful, as well as their partner who just wants to go on the pirate ship and wants to get some therapy and relax, because it is in the south of France and it is at a private villa next to the sea. So there is going to be so much to do and explore, or people can just relax because there's beautiful private gardens. There is a long pool and there is the sea just nearby as well. So lots to do.
Who can join to this retreat?
This retreat, the mermaid one specifically, is for anyone who's over the age of, say, 17. So even a parent with a teenager can join. They just have to be physically fit enough to be able to swim, and experienced enough to be able to swim. So we won't be in any deep water by any means. We'll have the pool and we'll also have the sea, and it'll be in a bay. So it will be a very safe area to swim. But we just prefer to keep this more of an adult focused retreat. For now, we're looking for people who are either solo travelers, partners, friends. There's space. There's one single room where there's two single beds. The rest are doubles, and some are private and some are just the single room shared to the double. So for like a family room or friends. But this one is definitely going to be for 17 up. And a foraging one can actually be a younger group that can come along with family, but not necessarily babies, more like 12 and up.
So my daughter can join. Okay. Okay. So if you can describe this day, can you share information how it looks? Then people can understand more about this nice event.
Sure. Well, first of all, they can go to changeretreat.com, or they can go to my therapy page, time4change.info. They can go there and they will see all the information about me and the different therapists that are involved. But Let's just say, so for the foraging one, it's going to be a case where you have this wonderful forager, Tom Radford, who is from the UK. He has a very wicked sense of humor. So he will be taking us on coastal walks and he will be taking us on mountain and meadow walks as well. He'll be gathering different herbs because in the south of France, you have everything from lavender to thyme and rosemary and all these wonderful things. And when we get back to the villa, he will be helping us make bread and adding some of our newfound flora and plants to our foods and our drinks. So that's going to be part of it. There'll be cultural immersion. So there will be some going around the villages and learning a little bit about going to the markets and exploring. And of course, there will be therapy every day. So I'll be doing guided meditation and we will be grounding ourselves into nature and exploring our powers with breathing and the sea and everything else that's around us. And for our mermaid one, which is more intense, it's going to be, once again, there will be a little bit of cultural exploration, but there'll be a lot of swimming. There'll be 2.5 hours every day of learning and practicing in the pool and then doing some sea work. And then finally, the big underwater photography shoot, which each person gets at least 2 to 3 photographs each underwater. And that will include our big boat that we'll be taking out and having a really great day. And there'll be some time to go out as well and have nice dinners together. So this is really about bonding. Both of these retreats are about bonding, getting to know other people and getting to know yourself. So there'll be plenty of time to be on your own in the private gardens, taking walks to the nearest village, or just hanging out with other people and getting to explore yourself in another environment that encourages the growth of the you, the intuitive, wonderful, powerful, confident you. So that's what they're both about. And that's why I love doing them.
Okay. And do you have, so there are any restrictions or rules that participants should follow?
Absolutely. And that's laid out in the disclaimer. It tells us, tells everyone what's expected. You have to get your own travel insurance. Food is mostly included. There is 1 or 2 times we'll be out. So, we'll go to one of the nearby villages and there'll be lunch there. And that's on the people themselves. But for the most part, everything is inclusive. Transportation is not inclusive, but everything is within walking distance. And if we needed to get something like a taxi, I would pay for that. So that's not a problem. The lessons are all included. So our special experts with foraging, that's all included. And our expert with the mermaiding and the singing bowls, all of these things are included. And my therapy is included. I do interview people. So when you go to my changeretreat.com page, and you go to book now or join us, it will go to a discovery call because we want to make sure that you are the right fit for our retreat. There's only 6 spaces in the villa, so it's really important that we all get along. But as for restrictions, unfortunately, for people who are physically disabled, it might be very difficult or it'd be impossible actually to do the mermaiding currently. And also for the foraging, there's a lot of walking. If there is a special request and the person just wants to come for my therapy, so one partner wants to go off and do the mermaiding or do the foraging, that's fine. But once again, I think there is a problem because all of the bedrooms are up on the upper floor. So we have 2-3 floors of bedrooms, and the ground floor is a dining room, a study, a library, and a kitchen. So there's a few. Unfortunately, it is in a very old villa in the south of France. It's not a modern build, so it's not wheelchair accessible.
And I think when you have this building, that's something special, special atmosphere. You can travel a little bit. I think so.
Yeah.
And
it's very easy to get to. There is actually, boundless amounts of trains. There's a million different airports, really. There's like Béziers, Carcassonne, Montpellier, Perpignan being the nearest airport. This is the south of France on the Mediterranean side. So it is near Spain. So it's a very balmy, beautiful temperature all year round. And there are vineyards, and there's a coastal walk, there's a mountain coastal walk, there's horseback riding, there's so much to do, but we'll have enough to do at the retreat.
Yeah. Understand that you have a plan and I think you have big experience. How many years are you doing it?
I have only been doing the retreats for 3 years. I was a radio journalist before, so I was kind of last year or the year before I started to say, okay, I have to decide what I'm going to really focus on and what I'm really going to do. So as a radio journalist or as a television producer, you can create things in hopes that it will help or it will, make a difference in a person or a community's life, but you don't really know. When you are a therapist, you see the changes that are made almost instantly. So I had to sort of roll up my sleeves and say, okay, I'm done with the radio. I'm going to just focus on helping people online and helping people through the retreats. So it's only been a couple of years, but I really enjoy it, no matter what the difficulties are, and there are sometimes difficulties. I really, I enjoy seeing people like being out of their comfort zones and, really growing. And I've had moments where people will come in and they'll be a bit moody and it's all about them, and I get it because we're all hurting. Some of us are hurting more than others, and but I love seeing them change when they have a support system, and that's why it's a really important part of picking people that are right for this retreat. And each retreat, they have to want to be part of the group because we have to be supportive of each other, and we want that support to go back with them to their homes, to their environments where they feel confident to be strong and supportive and helpful to others.